right, welcome to week 3 of the NFL picks. I'm Dan Denton, host of the Blue Collar Gospel Hour, with my friend
Cutty Coastal in the house. Blessed to be here.
From BS and Viewpoints.
Oh yeah, loving that BS and Viewpoints. You get a chance, check it out. You get a chance, check out the Blue Collar Gospel Hour.
Ooh, that sounded way better than I think it is.
Oh, it is definitely hot.
We're getting better every week.
Oh yeah.
So, how'd you feel about your week 2 picks?
Oh, they sucked. I gave some people some bad intel.
Every once in a while, I throw out that pick from the heart, and it hurts me every time.
Oh, yeah. I throw out the pick from the head, and I probably hurt some people's pockets. If you bet on me, I'm kind of sorry. If you know where I live, I can get a refund.
Up to a $10 limit per bet.
Oh, no, up to a 50-cent limit and a bottle of water. That's all you're going to get from me.
And some good conversation if we're lucky.
Yeah, because what I tell you is I didn't make you do this. You chose to do this. So, week 3 picks. First game I got is that Thursday night game. Dolphins at the Jaguars. Who you got, though? Part of the Battle of Florida. I mean, there's a third team.
That's the battle of the beard and the stash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take Jacksonville. I'm going to take I'm telling you, I don't think they got the memo they're not supposed to win.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't think they got that memo either, because they gave away everything they could.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally gave away everything. That's how they're still managing to win. They got rid of Leonard Fournette. They got rid of the corners. They got rid of Foles. They got rid of Ngakoue. They got
rid of their quarterback.
Yeah, they got rid of that was Jalen Ramsey they got rid of last year. Mm-hmm. They got rid of a lot of people, and they're still winning. But, you know, a Thursday game is, in my opinion, is a different animal, because physically, how do you feel? You don't have the 6 days to recoup. You only got 3. You got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday is the 4th day. It's time to play again. But even with that being said, I haven't seen anything about the Dolphins that screams they'll be good. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I was hoping for Fitzmagic, and he really ain't living up to the hype. Normally he kills in September, but he's not. So I'm going to go with the Jags, too. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit and pick the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right. Risk it for the biscuit.
Next up, we got the 49ers and Giants. Who you got going? Sunday, 1 o'clock game.
I'm telling you what, San Fran's hurting, but I'm going to take San Francisco.
Ooh.
The Giants got a big hole in the running back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can't replace Saquon Barkley.
No, you can't.
So I'm going San Fran.
But if you get a chance, if you can give it to Devontae Freeman, fantasy alert.
Shit.
He might be good for the Giants. Why? Because the Giants, when you looked at San Fran's vaunted defensive line last year, Bosa's out. Mm-hmm. They lost. Somebody went to the Colts. So they don't have that same defensive line. And part of that Super Bowl hangover has me believing that you got, I want to say, Deion Lewis and maybe Wayne Galtman. You got some running backs. I think the Giants are going to run the ball. And if Danny Dimes he can get in the zone too. I think he can get in the zone. And with Richard Sherman being out as well, their secondary, their defense is taking some hits.
They're hurting.
So, although I'm still going to the 49ers because my brother's a fan. But that's the only reason why.
I feel you.
Yeah. Next up, we got the haves and the have-nots. the Washington Redskins versus the Cleveland Browns.
We got the have-nots and should-haves.
That's a better way to put
Sorry,
it.
Browns fans, but
you should be better than what you are.
Is this even up for debate? I mean,
yes,
you know what?
Everything's up for debate.
I feel if they were playing anybody but the Browns.
You think the Redskins are pulling off?
But if they are, it's going to be against the Browns.
Yeah, the Redskins has that young, talented defensive line. The question is, can Dwayne Haskins get a little bit more accurate? Because I've been looking at his numbers, and they are pedestrian at best. I don't know what it is. I don't know what he's not seeing. I wish he would have stayed another year at Ohio State in a way, because sometimes you don't need to go to the league and then be thrust into starting your first year after you've only started like 13, 14 college games. I really felt like he needed to be kind of taking the way of maybe, remember how the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers, how they just left him on a bench a few years before he needed to really be eased because he didn't have the starts in college, but you saw the talent. He needed to grasp everything else, and they were just like, Peyton Manning kind of messed it up for everybody. Now everybody believes if you get a quarterback early, you just start him and let him take his lumps. Everybody ain't the same. You can't do that. And I believe he's probably playing too early. He's learning, but sometimes learning will can mess you up mentally. Like you can be learning and not doing what other people have done in your same ilk, and it'll mess you up mentally because then everybody starts talking about you. And then you start believing what they say.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think Cleveland, with a two-headed monster, Chubb, and the guy from Toledo, the running back from Toledo, Kareem Hunt, of course. I think Cleveland's going to win.
I'll never forget Kareem Hunt won me a fantasy championship a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I'm going with the Browns. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Browns. I will say one interesting point. Joe Burrow said something after last week's game that really made me think. He said that was the first time in his career he's ever lost 2 games in a row. So think about this. Haskins, you're a number 1 quarterback, or you're a first-round quarterback. That means you probably haven't lost in high school much. That means you probably haven't lost much in college, if at all, if you're a first-round quarterback. Haskins, I mean, how many games do you think he lost in his entire career before the NFL? Probably a handful.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
Then you get to the NFL, and it's a whole different animal. And all of a sudden, you lose 3 or 4 games. It does take a toll. But, yeah, I'm definitely taking Cleveland.
Okay. Our next up, speaking of Mr. Burrow was going to Philadelphia. So we got the Cincinnati Houday Bengals versus the Philadelphia throw a snowball at Santa Claus Eagles.
The team from Vince Papale.
Oh, man. This one, this is a battle of who can stay healthy. When you look at it, I mean, the Bengals came off an impressive coming off 3 days rest where Joey Burrow had his points where he looked really good. He looked like he could be the truth. But
he threw the ball 61 times.
Yeah, and, it was like I want to say 37 for 61. He was completion percentage right around 60% somewhere, which is pretty
accurate.
Good. Yeah. But the Eagles have a lot of injuries. And injuries can, derail your season the most. So, but the Bengals have a lot of injuries. This will be one to keep an eye on. But if you ask me to pick, Joe Burrow ain't winning this one either. I'm going with the Eagles. He'll put up great numbers, though. But he ain't winning.
So I'm going to take the upset alert on this one.
Doo-doo,
I'm going
doo-doo.
Burrows and the Bengals.
Ooh.
Only because I think Burrows doesn't like losing. I think he's already gotten a little better from game 1 to game 2. And I think the Eagles have just not been good. And I don't know any other way to say it. They just haven't been good. So I'm going to call the Bengals on the upset on this one.
Okay, my thing is I feel like Carson Wentz
Plus
likes
the Eagles
shit.
beat the Bears in the playoffs 2 years ago.
Double doink!
And I'm still a little salty.
Oh, that
I
hurts.
still think I got a little PTSD from the double doink.
Oh,
Double doink.
put it in the wound. All right, next, this is an interesting game. The Oakland Raiders versus the New England Patriots.
That's the Las Vegas Raiders now.
I'm always going to call them Oakland.
So I was explaining to my wife, who likes to watch football but doesn't necessarily understand all about football, the history of teams in Los Angeles. Because she said, wait, the Raiders aren't in Los Angeles anymore? And I said, no, they were in Oakland last. And so that was an interesting topic. And then we got to talk about St. Louis and how never mind. Las Vegas Raiders.
Someone's exactly. Bitter about the St. Louis thing.
That's a different podcast.
Yes. Man, the Raiders look really good. I don't know what you going to do with they tight end. They tight end play wide receiver at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
In the same position that Demarius Thomas and Calvin Johnson play. Early in his career, he had some hiccups, which was, substance issues, where he got actually suspended for a year. This dude is a monster. You put a cornerback on him, they're usually too small. Because I think the Patriots are probably going to double team him. But he is a monster, and you got him and Josh Jacobs. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to draft a running back, if you're going to draft a running back, get a Josh Jacobs type. What I mean by that is Josh Jacobs only signed to Alabama for 1 year. So his body can take a few more carries than somebody who grinded it out for 3 or 4 years with 1,000 carries in college. He probably only got about 200. So his body can, do a lot better than what you're doing. So with that being said, I feel like Cam Newton doesn't have any weapons other than Cam Newton. So with that being said, I'm picking the Las Vegas Raiders.
So I'm going to take the Patriots. But I did see, and I didn't pay attention enough. Mm-hmm. Jacobs was on the injury report.
Oh, okay.
Questionable. I don't have any details because I didn't study or anything. We're shooting from the hip, remember?
Oh, yeah. 6-shooter. Ping, ping.
But I'll tell you what. Cam Newton and the Patriots hung with the Seahawks. Enough that I think they can beat the Raiders at home. So that's my pick.
Okay. Next we got...
Hey, by the way, I wanted to point out Cam Newton's leading the team in rushing.
Oh, we knew that was going to happen. Next, we got the team
that's not long-term success. I just want to point that out.
It's not. Next, we got the team that Cam Newton should be playing for. The Bears versus the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons coming off a heartbreaker. Not many teams score 39 points and lose, but they did.
The Falcons, they have been on a spiral since they gave up that big lead in the Super Bowl.
They really have, but this is my question. Because in my opinion, I look at the Bears' offense, and I think of one word, not immaculate, inept. You never know what you're going to get.
I wish I could argue with you.
Ineptitude at its finest. Even with the great play caller, Matt Nagy. When I look at the Falcons, I look at Todd Gurley, potentially, resurrecting his career or limping to the finish line. But then you got Julio. And then you be like, oh, well, we can stop Julio. We can stop that. And then Calvin Ridley gets you 130, 140 yards. And you start seeing this offense. They lost, but they still scored 39 points. Their defense just might give up 40. But I don't think the Bears' offense...
But the Bears probably ain't scoring 40.
I'd be lucky if the Bears scored 30. And I don't see that happening. I see the Falcons as being angry. I don't think they packed their lunch in yet. As much as I would love to go for my Bears, I'm going for the Falcons. Psych! I don't care. I'm a Bears fan for life. The Bears are going to pull this one off. My heart says Bears. My mind says Falcons. Forget what your mind says, kids. Go Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
So... the thing is, if we can get to Ryan, we can shut them. We can shut them down. If they score 24 more points, we're in trouble.
Oh yeah.
And their defense is not good.
Oh, I told you.
And our offense, a Chicago offense, is not good. But I'm picking the Bears.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some ball control, but I think we can pull it off. I'm going to go with the Bears as well.
We might need a 3-touchdown quarter. I don't know.
Yeah, we might.
I'll tell you this. If our defense don't show up, it's going to be an ugly game. Khalil Mack's questionable, too. What happened to Khalil?
Oh, the NFL, the records of her, you get dinged up when you're getting chip blocked and triple teamed. Yeah. So, I'm picking I'm picking the Bears, but, I can't pick a shootout because we don't have a shootout type of offense.
We do not.
I'm predicting a little ineptitude on Atlanta being upset about last week and the Bears pulling it off. Next, this is a good one. The Rams and the Bills.
Ooh. Better than I thought it would be 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, because the Bills, I got Allen as my QB, and I was
He's balling.
Yeah, he's been killing. I wasn't expecting that. I was when the computer drafted him for me, I said, wait a minute, where they do that at? And Stephon Diggs, he has a new light, and then the Patriots, have lost some mystique, and it's like the Bills saying, no, we about to run this division now. We got a young quarterback, we got an all-pro caliber wide receiver, and we've already had an amazing defense. So now we got a receiver. We can do some things, be true to some things. But that Rams defensive line is a whole nother monster.
It is.
You got Aaron Donald and them boys, and you got Jalen Ramsey out there. Jalen Ramsey gonna hop on Gill. He might follow him. He gonna be in his pocket. He might even be there for the huddle. But I don't think the Bills are a one-trick pony. I got the Bills winning this one.
So, last week I picked John Brown as my sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I picked John Brown as my sleeper is because they were playing against the Dolphins, whose secondary is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And he's their deep ball threat. And he did get an over 40-yard touchdown, which on my fantasy team, he got me 20-some points.
Winning.
So, I won again, 2-0 in fantasy football.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good matchup. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Okay.
Because of the defense, I think is going to win over the young quarterback. But it's going to be a good game. I'm taking the Rams.
Okay. Next, we got two organizations going two different ways. The Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a news flash. If you ain't heard it, I'm going to tell you about it. You want me to tell you what Minnesota and Houston's combined record is?
Yeah.
0-4.
How is Minnesota so terrible? That's a different game. Let's stick with you.
But they 0-4. Want me to tell you what they both did? Got rid of their all-pro wide receiver. Stephon Diggs is in Buffalo. DeAndre Hopkins is in Arizona.
Gone.
And guess what? They 0-4. Thielen can't do it by himself.
Both of them are having okay years already.
Yep. Both of them are they
playing
almost
on teams that
it
at least have a win.
Yes, exactly. So that you got to keep receivers. You better keep them happy, keep the divas happy. And they wasn't even really complaining. Well, DeAndre Hopkins was. Stephon Diggs didn't really like Kirk Cousins. That's a whole other story. But with this being said, I got the Texans going 0-3. I predict Watt to have sacks, Bud Dupree to have sacks, Cam Hayward to have sacks. And pretty much it's going to be a party in the back. I almost feel sorry for Deshaun Watson, but he got a lot more money than me, so I can't feel that sorry for him. He did just sign that new deal, but I just don't see them doing it. I literally have the Steelers there at home. Schuster's doing good. The guy out of Toledo, Johnson's doing really good. And then they have
Big Ben's healthy.
Big Ben's healthy. They have Eric Ebron if you get a chance. He's always usually a top 10 fantasy tight end. Connor produced last week. And they have there's a receiver out of Oklahoma State who's also there, who's really good. He won the Biletnikoff Award, but they have some weapons. And for that team to do as bad as they did last year, Big Ben wasn't there. So that's not an indictment on who them. A quarterback is the most important person on your team.
Normally.
Yeah, just about the most important person on your team. And they didn't have them, so that's why they did so poorly. I got the Steelers winning this one. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I got the Steelers winning this one.
I'm taking the Steelers at home. And it's hard to imagine Houston going 0-3, but I got to take the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Yeah. Different directions.
Oh, yeah. Next, we got a team we just talked about. The 0-2 Minnesota Vikings versus the Tennessee Titans.
How you feeling about that?
Oh, it's easy for me. I got the Titans. Barr went on IR. Thielen's probably questionable. They got Dalvin Cook. But you got to play against that defense who's going to probably try to stop the run. And they're going to make him have to throw the ball. And I believe that's where the problem entails. And they just lost more pieces on their defensive line. I just don't believe Minnesota has it. I believe maybe even the locker room split about Diggs leaving because some people loved him, some people, really didn't like him. But to make a long story short, it's different. When you got two people to worry about on the outside, you can really only put 8 men in the box. You can try not to really put 8 men in the box because you got two receivers who are all pro to worry about. Yeah. When you lose him, you can literally say, we're going to double Thielen and and we still going to stop the run, and we going to be good. And that's what they doing. They just said, Thielen, you ain't going to get nothing.
And man, Minnesota fell apart.
Yeah.
They've been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Tennessee. I just think Tennessee's grinding
Oh,
defense,
yeah.
grinding offense is too much for Minnesota to handle right now.
I want to say they have Jonnu Smith at tight end. Jonnu Smith at Tennessee. If you get a chance to get him. He's a pretty good tight end. Okay. And then they have Brown there. They got some weapons. And then they always got Derrick Henry. And this is what I was talking about last week. Ryan Tannehill looks so much better without Gase. Yeah. He looks so much better without Gase.
He's at least serviceable.
Yeah, he's
serviceable.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
He looks like a starting quarterback.
He looks like a starting quarterback, but it's like when he let the dumpster fire call Gase, he got better.
Yeah.
Well, let's move forward. Carolina Panthers, Los Angeles Chargers. Go Chargers, go.
Interesting. Did you read that story about Tyrod Taylor that came out today?
No, I didn't. I never changed.
Said the doctor accidentally punctured his lung when he was giving him a pain injection for his cracked ribs, and that's why he had to be pulled from the game.
Ooh.
And I guess Herbert's starting again this week. Herbert didn't play terrible.
Yeah.
But that's a crazy story.
Oh, yeah. But the game's in L.A., which really doesn't matter without fans.
Yeah.
Panthers are, you got Teddy Two Gloves. They lost to Tampa Bay.
They lost McCaffrey.
They lost McCaffrey?
He's out 4-6.
He's out 4-6? Chargers.
Chargers. Teddy Bridgewater ain't enough. Robbie Anderson, by the way, is a good fantasy pickup if you can get him.
Oh, yeah, if you get Robbie Anderson.
He's about their only offensive weapon left now.
They got more, don't they?
Yeah, but, I mean, they ain't got McCaffrey. That's...
Yeah, but they got two pretty good receivers. When you got two pretty good receivers, you got a chance.
Yeah. But I'm taking L.A.
Same here. Without Christian McCaffrey, it's going to be tough sledding. If you get a chance to get one of the Carolina Panthers running backs, now's the time.
I think Davis is either next up.
Yeah, I want some
Mike
Davis. Yeah, Mike Davis. So
he's going to get some touches anyway.
Yeah, he's going to get touches with McCaffrey being out because they do it all, everything. But they still have a strong defense.
They do.
So we'll have to see how that goes. Next, we have the New York Jets versus the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh-wee. Hey, I took the Jets last week.
Oh, don't worry. I'm taking the Jets this one. The Colts lost two Buckeyes. Paris Campbell and Malik Hooker. IR. Both gone. Bye, bye, bye. And then when they left, that's what I said to the Colts. Bye, bye, bye. I got the Jets winning this one. Sam Darnold, look, he made some plays last week that I'm like, I didn't realize you was that good. Maybe if you leave Adam Gase alone, maybe you can beat somebody. I don't even think Adam Gase can fuck this one up. I really don't. That being said, as much as I think Adam Gase is probably a great person, not a great football coach, I'm going with the Jets. I'm taking a leap of faith here. I'm jumping off the bridge with my eyes closed. Let's hope I hit water.
See, I did that last week and it didn't work out. So this week I'm taking the Colts.
Smart man. I think I'm only picking him for my.
I will say Taylor looked good. The Wisconsin running back.
Yeah.
He had 101. He had his first 100-yard rushing game.
Okay.
And they still got Phillip Rivers. I'm taking the Colts. The Jets.
I can't even.
They were my flyer last week and it didn't work. So.
Okay. Here it is. What about them Cowboys, America's team? Great PR campaign, by the way, versus the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be playing in Seattle, and that air quality's getting a little bit better. So this is going to be interesting because, the Cowboys got some weapons.
They do.
But they stay hurt at linebacker. I want to say that Van Escher's hurt. And, Sean Lee been hurt for so long, I forgot he was still in the league.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys don't have a secondary, hence they gave up 39 points last week. And the victory, mind you.
And they're playing probably the hottest quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Russ Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
My starting quarterback in fantasy football.
Oh, yeah.
5 touchdowns last week.
Oh, yeah. With that being said, I got Ezekiel Elliott. He's from The Ohio State University. I'm calling it a shocker. Cowboys find a way to get it done. Right. I'm calling them over Seattle. Dak wants that contract. Pay the man, Jerry. Pay him.
I'm taking Seattle in my starting quarterback in fantasy, Russ Wilson. They are at home. I'm just not sold on Dak. Just not. I don't know. Maybe because I hate the Cowboys. See, go ahead. What's next? Now start picking from the heart again.
The reason why I picked them is I just believe Ezekiel. I believe the Seattle has to muck up this game. I believe Seattle's a good team, but that defense, I really don't know anybody on it. They really don't have a great pass rush, and I thought Cam Newton almost victimized him solely by himself.
They definitely hung.
Yeah, Cam
Russ
Newton
did
went
throw
for it
a
on
pick six.
Yeah, but Cam Newton did. He was like a yard away from winning the game.
Yeah.
They went for it on fourth down. He's gonna have Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, Dawson Knox,
And
Zeke, Tony Pollard. They gonna have some weapons on offense. I believe they gonna make the Seahawks defense work. Yeah, I believe it's gonna be a good game.
Hey, did you see that story about the NFL coach's fined for not wearing masks? Like $100,000 per coach, and each team was fined $250,000. Pete Carroll was one of them, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah, $350,000 fines per team.
Why don't you just give me that amount of money myself,
Man.
and I'll retire.
Hey, I'll just
and
hang
live
out
me
here
a
and do
good
this
life.
every week for free. You know?
Yeah, we doing it for free now.
Well, you know. I do it for free.
Next, the Detroit Lions at the Arizona Cardinals.
Oof.
Kyler Murray looks special. That boy looks special. He really do. DeAndre Hopkins helps.
Yeah.
Huh, Houston Texans? Huh?
Fitzgerald having a legend.
Yeah, and you got DeAndre Hopkins. And you got weapons.
I think the best receiver in the NFL, Hopkins. Arguably.
You know, Michael Thomas from the Ohio State. That's something.
Yeah.
As well as
Julio.
Julio.
And Julio Jones.
Yes, and Julio. I would
Julio's
not
a freak.
forget about Julio. But yeah. Arizona's 2-0, and as much as I love the Detroit Lions, Arizona's probably about to be 3-0 because Kyler Murray looks special.
Detroit Lions are not 2-0.
I'm saying the Arizona Cardinals are.
They are, but the Lions are not 2-0.
I know. You know, Ric Flair said it best. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Well, Arizona's going to beat Detroit. I got Arizona.
I'm taking the Cardinals, too.
Although I do have Stafford as my backup quarterback. Hawkinson might make some noise. He's another good tight end to get in fantasy. Remember, guys and gals, you make your money on fantasy with tight ends. Tight ends really have the most score disparity. Like, if you got a great tight end, he might get you 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He might get you 25.
Won some championships with Gronkowski back in the day.
I won a championship.
If you get Gronk healthy 12 games a year, you can win.
I won a championship with Gronkowski and Travis Kelce as my tight ends, and I took second place with Ebron because whenever you got a tight end who's an upper echelon tight end, usually that's where you get most of your winnings.
I got Kelce this year. I drafted him early.
Yeah, I got Hawkinson. He's been doing pretty good. And then this gives me a fantasy sleeper. If you get a chance, grab Drew Sample out of Cincinnati. He plays Cincinnati Bengals. CJ Umaze tore his ACL, and Drew Sample is available. I want to say in about 80% of the leagues right now, maybe 90%. He was the backup tight end. When he got in, he did really good. And they've been speaking glowing reviews. But now he's going to play because CJ is tore ACL, so he's gone for the season. So I just picked him up. I had to let Scotty Miller go. Anybody heard me pick Scotty Miller last week? Sorry. Can't find me.
My fantasy, you got to get him on the right week. But there's about 4 weeks out of the year that Marvin Jones will kill for you in DraftKings.
Oh, yeah.
You can get him cheap. He's inconsistent.
Oh, yeah.
But about 4 times a year, he's going to have 160 yards and 2 TDs or something crazy.
I have him, too. He's sitting on my bench. I'm waiting. I just got to pick that right week. But I don't think it's this week.
No.
I don't think it's this week.
Nope, I don't think so either.
Next, we got the Buccaneers and the Broncos. Tampa Tom, 1-1. Versus the Denver Broncos. For me, this is a no-brainer. I'm going Tampa Tom all the way. If you got Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, start them. Because what I can say is on top of Von Miller, who was Tom Brady's nemesis and sacked him repeatedly, Their quarterback, Drew Lock, is also hurt for 4 to 6 weeks. No quarterback, no MVP, no me. It's that simple. I got Tampa Tom, and the Buccaneers beat Denver.
I'm also taking Tampa. That's a no-brainer for me also.
Oh, yeah. Sutton's hurt. Von Miller's
hurt.
gone. Drew Lock's gone. Phillip Lindsay's hurt. And they got several people hurt. Next up, we got the Packers and the Saints.
Good game.
I hate the Packers.
Me too.
I hate you too.
With everything that I am.
Hate. But the advantage of them is they playing a 1-1 Saints team without Michael Thomas, who played on Monday night in Las Vegas, so they won't get back to Tuesday, which is a day less of preparation. I believe that will have something to do with it. With that being said, even though I hate them to my core, and I almost want to throw up in my mouth making this pick, I'm going to pick the Green Bay Packers. Ugh. Oh, I'm sick to my stomach. Oh. Give me some. You got Tums, Dan?
I was regretting having to say this in front of you, Cutty. But I'm taking the Packers too. So it makes me feel a little bit less slimy about it. But man,
we need Tums for both of us.
I was reading the Packers are averaging like 550 yards of offense a game. They're rolling.
Oh yeah, they got the weapons.
And New Orleans
back
ain't rolling, and they ain't got Thomas.
Oh no.
And yeah, I'm taking Green Bay, but I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
But it makes you a winner.
Well, I don't like to lose, and that's.
Choosing Green Bay makes you a winner.
Uh-oh, we have a potential AFC Conference Championship prelude.
That's 2 good games in a row, Sunday night and Monday night.
Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens, featuring the J.K. Dobbins. Start the man.
J.K. all day.
Mm-hmm. This is tough. This one is tough because Baltimore has looked rather dominant. Kansas City barely won, but those divisional games are so hard because you play those teams twice a year. They know everything about you. It's a little bit. It's a little different. So, but they eked it out. A victory's a victory, whether you win by 1 or 50. I'd rather win by 50, but winning by 1 proves a lot. Proves that you was willing to fight for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, who you got?
Taking Baltimore.
Ooh.
Their defense has been so dominant, and taking Baltimore. They're at home. Chiefs didn't look sharp.
Sometimes you look ahead.
Yeah.
I believe the Chiefs was looking ahead. I believe they got something to prove. I believe the Ravens have something to prove.
They do.
But guess what? It ain't going to be this week. Lamar Jackson does great. But I believe with Frank Clark and that defensive line, they could keep him corralled. The Cleveland Browns kept him corralled. They just was so inept on offense week 1. That's what made Baltimore look good. The Cleveland Browns did not let Lamar Jackson run. He can still throw. I never said he couldn't. He can throw. He can throw really good. He's a top 3 quarterback. Probably top 2 when you think about it. He's top 2 quarterback. I mean, Pat Mahomes, number 1, number 2. But I just think right now with that running back that Kansas City has, I believe they have a lot of things going for themselves. With Christian Jones and Frank Clark in the middle, the Honey Badger back there, I believe they're going to win. I believe they're going to go 3-0. I can't say when they're going to lose. I can say they're going to lose. I can just say it's not right now. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, I was thinking about this. Remember we were talking about their no preparation and no preseason games, right?
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about that. You think that gives Baltimore an edge because they got kind of a less complex offense? They're kind of more of a straightforward. You think that gives them a little bit of an edge?
No.
No?
Only reason why is because most of the people on Kansas City's roster was there last year. It's really the running back. It's not really too much difference. They do have a left guard because Larry, that's what they call Tuvernay. He's actually a doctor in Canada. He actually chose to opt out the offensive lineman, and he decided to stay there. But they seem to be. I mean, they have all the same wide receivers. They have a new running back, but their backup is the backup from last year. So you don't really have a lot of issues with them. It's about getting a running back on the same play. And running backs are key because they are part of the blitz pickup.
Yeah.
So, but I think he'll do well. He did well at LSU with the pro style, with the spread type of style offense. I think he'll do well with his blitz pickups. I think he'll be fine. I got them winning.
Okay. All right, man. You got any? You paid attention to any to college football at all?
No, not to Ohio
Me
State
neither.
place.
Me neither. I was just wondering that they do have rankings still, but I didn't even pay attention.
Yeah,
Notre Dame game got postponed this week. I don't know why.
Probably COVID.
Probably COVID. All right. There you go. Week 3 picks, man. How you feel about those?
I love them. Oh, fantasy
Hopeful and
pick.
optimistic.
Yep, fantasy pick. I would say, what is it? Drew Sample, tight end, pretty good option. With all these injuries going, he's potentially a good tight end. And I think Burrow will look for him. He'll get a little bit of shine, and that's my fantasy pick of the week.
I'm gonna give you my deep sleeper right here.
Who we go?
Total homer, all the way. This is Anthony Miller's week.
Ooh.
Wide receiver, Chicago Bears.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Against Atlanta, the Bears are gonna feel some pressure to get some offense going.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is Miller's gonna get some 7-8 throws this week.
Okay,
All
I'm
right,
liking
there you
it.
go.
I'm loving it.
Complete homer.
All right,
Go Bears.
go Bears.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0 Chicago Bears.
Gonna be 3-0.
Gonna be 3-0.
Calling our shot.
That defense is gonna gel a little more every week.
Then they're gonna play Green Bay and lose.
Nope, not this year.
You don't have a say.
Hey,
Your show ended.
700
ah, good
750
point.
yards.
Good point. All right.
That's it.